My name is Tom Mustin, and it's my pleasure to welcome you to this crypto market update. I'm a correspondent for Stansberry Research, one of the world's largest independent financial advisory firms with more than 1 million members across 131 countries. We've independently funded this event because we're in the midst of a cryptocurrency sea change, one that could create thousands of new crypto millionaires in the coming year and leave countless others behind. Crypto legend Eric Wade is joining me today to break down this massive shift. He'll explain why he believes Bitcoin could reach 150,000 by the end of the year. Plus, he'll give away his #1 crypto to buy today. Eric has worked as a stockbroker, a money manager, an internet entrepreneur, and he consulted for numerous Fortune 500 companies. And his success in the tech world has been covered in Barron's, Wired, and the Washington Post. But today, Eric's biggest claim to fame is his gift for crypto investing. To date, he has taught over 35,000 everyday Americans how to make as much as 12 times their money in the crypto market. He's also developed a system to help identify winning cryptos before they skyrocket and flag losing cryptos before they crash and burn. Since 2018, he and his team have outperformed the Russell 2000, bonds, gold, treasuries, and even the S&P 500 by a staggering margin. We have 46 financial analysts in our firm, including 11 MBAs, 3 CFAs, 2 CPAs, and 2 CMTs. And Eric has booked more 1,000% plus gains than any of them. And one of Eric's readers, a self-described country boy from Middle America, used his system to turn $50,000 into an incredible $54 million. He's also taught countless first-timers how to diversify their investments using crypto with tremendous success. But unlike obnoxious crypto cheerleaders on YouTube who urge viewers to go all in on coins with names like Whopper Coin and Whale Panda, Eric has done all of this while strictly limiting downside risk. In fact, he may be the only voice in this industry who promotes responsible crypto investing. His integrity is peerless, so much so that a 12-term U.S. congressman sang his praises. In the words of Dr. Ron Paul, Eric Wade is by far one of the most connected and knowledgeable authorities in the crypto world. He's got the best track record I've seen of any crypto analyst. And more importantly, I admire both his enthusiasm and his honesty about his stuff. Eric, thank you for joining us today.
Wow. Well, thank you for having me, but what an introduction. I'm really excited to be here. It's been kind of a wild ride for us, hasn't it?
It has.
Pretty much everybody knows Bitcoin hit a new all-time high this year. But did you know there are tons of lesser-known cryptos with big recent moves that make Bitcoin's gains look like peanuts? We're talking about gains as high as 3,700%, 13,000%, and even 18,000% over the last few years. But that's enough to turn a $1,000 stake into more than $180,000.
I didn't know that, but I certainly believe it, Eric. And viewers, if you want to check the data for any of the statistics we mentioned today, please visit our details and disclosures page. And Eric, we seem to be in another crypto mania, and I know you're really jazzed to talk about what people can do to profit from this mania, and we're going to do exactly that. But I do have to say, a lot of folks are now saying the B word. You know what I'm talking about, bubble.
Yeah.
And is that what is happening here?
Well, there's an old saying on Wall Street, you never know you're in a bubble until it bursts. But I will say this, it doesn't behave like a bubble. When Bitcoin hit $69,000 in 2021, everyone, and I mean everyone was talking about crypto. Doctors were talking about crypto, lawyers, truck drivers, electricians, hotel clerks, gas station attendants, wherever you went, they were talking about crypto. They were all piling into Bitcoin and other digital assets. Nobody wanted to miss out. Now, today, on the other hand, the chatter it's a lot quieter, even though Bitcoin is right back around $69,000 again. Just look at this chart that tracks the number of people searching for Bitcoin on Google. Throughout 2021, there were huge spikes in search volume. But these days, in spite of all the news driving Bitcoin higher, we're seeing just a fraction of the Google searches. That's one sign that it's certainly not behaving like bubble territory yet. But there's another, and I would say even more compelling reason that I believe we're far from the peak of this cycle. It involves a pattern written right into Bitcoin's code that has always triggered a dramatic increase in its value over the following 18 months. Now this pattern, it's appeared 4 times so far. The first time it happened Bitcoin surged 4,557%. The second time, Bitcoin soared 2,431%. The third time that this pattern happened, Bitcoin jumped 664%.
So what about the fourth time?
Well, we're actually still in the thick of it. This past April, this pattern flashed once again. And if history is any indication, that means the price of Bitcoin won't peak until April 22nd, 2025 at the earliest. So, in other words, Bitcoin still has a massive runway ahead of it. Now, I'm going to go on the record today to say I believe that the price of Bitcoin could easily reach at least $150,000 by the end of 2024 and then keep going from there. But that's just the beginning of what's coming. There will be numerous other opportunities to make 2 times, 5 times, and even 10 times your money in the months ahead. And you can get started today with the free pick that I'll give away in this update.
And you'll definitely want to stick around for that, folks. One of Eric's free crypto recommendations more than doubled in 9 months. And Eric, I hate to jump the gun, but let me ask you something. It's not Bitcoin, is it?
No, Bitcoin isn't my free pick.
Okay.
Look, I love Bitcoin. I believe everyone should allocate between 1 to 5% of their investment portfolio to Bitcoin. And I've done everything in my power to spread the word about Bitcoin.
And I know you've taught 35,000 people who didn't know the first thing about Bitcoin how to open their first crypto account and buy Bitcoin. You've also appeared on numerous podcasts and spoken at conferences all over the world. And you've also produced and broadcast videos like this that have been viewed by more than 8 million people. So yeah, I'd say you're doing your part, Eric.
Yeah, so look, I've been working with crypto for well over a decade now. The market has seen huge leaps and changes every year. But my core message has remained the same. You can even boil it down to 3 points. First, Bitcoin is the future of money. Everyone should own it. And it's never too late to get in.
Even right now?
Yeah, even now. Tom, I started officially publishing my thoughts on crypto in 2018. And one of the very first things I did was to recommend Bitcoin. I was going against consensus in a big way. In my write-up, I even predicted that the media will proclaim the end of Bitcoin. The very next day, Robert Merton, a Nobel laureate in economics, he told PBS, Bitcoin is toast. Well, spoiler alert, everyone, he was wrong, dead wrong. Bitcoin has gone up nearly 1,800% since then.
So that must have been really validating for you to see. And you were clearly ahead of the curve, Eric, in a major way. But, you know, the first thing that crossed my mind when I saw that chart was, no, it's too late for me. I've completely missed out.
Well, you're not alone. Actually, everybody's thinking the same thing. But that chart is just the beginning. In a minute, I'm going to share a Bitcoin analysis by a director at the 4th largest asset manager in the entire world. Using a mathematical law, he shows that the price of Bitcoin could go up exponentially by 2038. In fact, his final estimate makes my $150,000 price target look conservative.
Wait a second. So 2038? I mean, it's hard to wait even a year to see a return on your investment, let alone 14 years. Is there anything our viewers can do to make money from crypto in the meantime?
Yeah, okay, so I built a system that does exactly that, what you're asking about. When I decided to become a public figure in the crypto space, I knew that I wanted to do things differently. I didn't want to be some YouTuber with 3 Rolexes on each arm, encouraging folks to just pour their life savings into flashy coins with no intrinsic value. Those YouTubers, they can be really reckless. All they care about is their own personal gain. They have no regard for the people that are putting their hard-earned money on the line. So when I started recommending cryptos, I came up with I guess you could call it a mission statement, one that boiled down to 3 words. Always trade responsibly. No gimmicks, just high-quality cryptos with massive upside potential, backed by real research. So in other words, if Warren Buffett bought cryptos, these are the kinds of coins that he would buy.
Okay, that sounds amazing, but how exactly do you do that?
Well, it's tricky. Cryptocurrencies don't have balance sheets or cash flow statements or any of the financial disclosures that folks like Buffett enjoy scouring. So performing fundamental analysis on cryptos it's next to impossible. However, after mining and trading cryptocurrencies for 11 years, I've discovered that the best cryptos all boast 7 critical characteristics. These 7 factors are what powers my updraft system. As you can see, each letter in the word updraft represents one of my criteria. When applying my system, I assign a numerical score to each indicator for a total of a possible 100 possible points.
So take this in for a moment, folks. Eric has used this system to generate average gains of 227% on his crypto recommendations. And that includes a 152% win, a 638% win, and a 1,176% win. So if you spend any time in the crypto market, you know this isn't easy. And if you're wondering how Eric does it, well, the answer is right here. Updraft is the system behind all of his winners.
Yeah, that's correct. It doesn't matter whether the crypto market is going up or down or sideways. Following this system gives you the chance to get into the best cryptos before they soar. And now's the perfect time to add this system to your arsenal. Mark my words, folks, we're about to see the mother of all bull markets, thanks to a little known pattern in Bitcoin's code that we could easily see Bitcoin reach $150,000 by the end of the year and climb to extraordinary new highs by April 22nd, 2025. But if you don't get into the right cryptos now, you'll be watching all of this unfold from the sidelines.
So this, Eric, is clearly a time-sensitive issue, and so I definitely want to pick your brain about that. But first, I'd really like to take a peek under the hood of your system. So what exactly is updraft, and what do these letters stand for?
Well, it's a lot to unpack, so let me walk you through it just one letter at a time. To demonstrate the sheer power of this system, I'll share winning trades from across my services. The U stands for use and users. With this category, I look at the answers to 4 key questions. What is the coin used for? Is it easy to use? Who's using it and supporting it? And who will use it in the future? Before you buy a single cryptocurrency, it's absolutely crucial to understand its purpose and application. Take this one that I just recommended to my subscribers this past January. It's developing a platform that will allow users to create virtual versions of themselves called AI agents. These agents are going to be capable of automatically performing almost any crypto-related tasks that you can perform online. They're sort of like crypto trading personal assistants. But keep in mind, there's more than 560 million crypto users worldwide. And if you're one of the millions who actively trade crypto, a platform like this that we're talking about, it could be incredibly helpful to you. So when I recommended it, I told my readers that it could go up 5x in the next 12 to 24 months. Now, to give you an idea of how quickly and suddenly cryptos can take off, it wound up soaring 10x in just over 2 months.
Wow, Eric. Only in crypto, right?
Yeah, I know, you're right. I've touched nearly every corner of the financial markets. I traded options in college, I picked stocks at Merrill Lynch, participated in seed rounds for startups, I've dabbled in collectible cars, rare coins, wine, you name it. Nothing, and I mean nothing, can give you as much bang for your buck as crypto can. But you're asking for trouble if you try to play it without a system. About half of all the cryptocurrencies fail. The potential for outside gains is there, but you can't lose sight of those 3 magic words: always trade responsibly. Having access to the findings of the updraft system, it's going to help you stick to this principle.
Okay. So speaking of updraft, tell us what the P stands for.
P stands for problems and problems solved. I'm looking for cryptocurrencies that solve a problem in the crypto universe. Let me give you an example. Ethereum is the 2nd most popular cryptocurrency in the whole world. Developers love it because it has a far wider range of functions than Bitcoin does. Well, Bitcoin mostly serves as a virtual currency and a store of value. The sky is the limit with Ethereum. You can make games, you can write self-executing contracts, and even build other cryptocurrencies on top of it. Think of it like Legoland. Ethereum provides the Legos, and you can build anything you want. But in 2021, Ethereum had a problem. Their Legos, so to speak, got too expensive to buy individually. It cost $40 on average to make a single trade on the Ethereum network. At its peak, it cost nearly $200.
Wow, that seems completely unsustainable, right?
Yeah, it was insane. In a way, Ethereum had become a victim of its own success. The crowds had poured into Ethereum, and all that volume, it drove the fees up. But the beauty of the crypto market is that folks are constantly working on fixing it. I used Updraft to evaluate all the developers who are building on top of Ethereum that could substantially lower its transaction fees with what they were doing. And that's how I discovered a crypto company called Polygon. 3 months after I recommended it, it soared 1,347%.
Wow, that is incredible.
Yeah, well, I've designed Updraft to rate digital assets and to uncover the ones that have the hallmarks of cryptocurrencies that suddenly surged in popularity. It's kind of similar to how astronomers predict eclipses. Did you know that NASA can tell you where an eclipse is going to be visible and how much of it will be able to be seen and the exact second in which it's going to start? Using 38,000 repeating mathematical terms, they can predict both solar and lunar eclipses 1,000 years into the future. Now, it might sound complicated, and I'm sure it really is, but at the end of the day, it's all just about pattern recognition. They're identifying patterns in historical data, and then they use those patterns to predict the movements of all the celestial bodies. So that's essentially what I've programmed my system to do. But instead of eclipses, my system selects the best potential long-term winners out of the 23,000 cryptocurrencies that are out in their crypto universe. It can sense with, you could call it uncanny accuracy, which crypto fits with our goals to always trade responsibly long before the masses even have a clue.
Okay, so now I'm really excited to hear about your free pick today, Eric. But if it's anything like the cryptos you've shown us already, I'm sure it'll perform amazingly. But let's keep rolling through those letters first. So what does the D stand for in Updraft?
D stands for decentralization. One of the core tenets of Bitcoin is that it's a decentralized currency. Unlike the US dollar, you don't have to worry about a secretive group of non-elected officials like the Federal Reserve manipulating Bitcoin on a whim. The idea is to take the middleman out of our everyday financial transactions. That's what attracted me to Bitcoin in the first place, and I look for cryptocurrencies that embody this ideal. And before you ask, Tom, the R, it stands for round trip.
Okay, so you beat me to that, but tell us what that means in terms of cryptos.
Okay, what it means is a lot of cryptos are one-way trips. You can buy the coins, but you may have a really hard time finding a seller down the road. Round trips then are cryptos that you can buy and hold and ultimately sell when the time is right. The coin Civic is a good example of this. It's available on numerous secure exchanges. It's fairly liquid with $15 million in average daily trading volume, and you can store it in a wide variety of crypto wallets. Now, here's what happened to Civic after I recommended it.
Fantastic, Eric. So now what about the A in Updraft? What does that stand for?
A stands for application. I like to get my hands on the technology behind the crypto in question. I install the software on my computer, I put it through the paces, right? I want to make sure it lives up to my standards.
So how do you know what to look for in these applications? I imagine they're somewhat complex.
Yeah, so I've been doing this for a long time, and when I started working with crypto, most of the people that were also working on it were completely in the dark about this stuff. Back in 2013, there was a Bloomberg poll, and a lot of folks that answered the poll thought Bitcoin was either an iPhone app or a video game. I realized early on that it was so much more than that, and I set out to understand all of the ins and outs of this Bitcoin technology. I set up mining machines, computers that run the software to support the Bitcoin network in exchange for a payout in Bitcoin. And in fact, I set up so many that I had to hire an electrician to rewire my house. I devoted about 18 hours a day to reading about cryptocurrencies. I loved it so much. And I flew around the world. I attended conferences in Hong Kong and Beijing and Las Vegas and Silicon Valley and more places than even that.
So I imagine, Eric, that you have some pretty high standards here.
Oh, yeah. It's rare that I find a crypto that merits a high score in this category. But when I do, the results, they can be outstanding. Take Chainlink, for example. It has an application that enables companies to track real world data, but on the blockchain. Its application is so impressive that it counts Alphabet and Swift, the global payments processor that serves more than 11,000 banks. They're Chainlink's partners. You could have had a shot at a 602% gain in just over 2 years. What's more, if you'd held on, you could have booked a gain as high as 16,417%.
So Eric, I'm trying to do the math here in my head as we're going along. That's enough to turn $10,000 into what? 1.6 million?
Yeah. So, okay.
Wow.
So let's put it this way. This is why I sold most of my stocks. This is why I don't touch real estate. This is why I aim for 90% of my investments to be in crypto.
Wow.
Done right, it's the best investment on the planet. Consider this. If you had invested $10,000 in bonds in 2014, you'd have about $9,000 today. If you had put that same amount of money to work in gold, it would have grown to about $17,000 by now. And if you had staked $10,000 in stocks to compare it, you'd be at $28,000 today. So now go ahead and guess how much money you'd be sitting on if you had invested $10,000 in Bitcoin 10 years ago.
Okay, I don't know. 100,000.
Higher.
How about 500,000?
No, higher.
$1 million.
You'd have nearly $2 million today from
Wow.
your $10,000.
Wow. I mean, you weren't kidding. That's absolutely insane.
That's the power of crypto. But you can't forget these 3 magic words. Always trade responsibly. That brings me up to the F in Updraft. Future. I don't want to invest in a flash in the pan. I want to know that the future holds the possibility of huge amounts of revenue. Do you remember when NFTs, or non-fungible tokens, when they were all over the news?
Yeah, that was huge. And if I remember correctly, they were using crypto technology to certify ownership of things like memes and digital paintings, and folks are paying through the nose for them, right?
Yeah, they were. People were pouring boatloads of cash into these things. One guy spent nearly $3 million to buy Jack Dorsey's first tweet. Another guy plunked down almost $600,000 to buy, and I'm not kidding when I say this, an animated image of a flying cat with a Pop-Tart body. When I saw this happening, I immediately held a roundtable discussion with my team and streamed our meeting so anybody could watch it. In it, I warned folks that a bubble had formed in this space. The NFT market proceeded to crash in a major way.
So how major are we talking about?
Okay, well, that Jack Dorsey tweet that sold for about $3 million, it recently went back up for auction, and the top bid was $280.
Yikes.
Yeah, yikes is right. But it's not enough to just help our people avoid this disaster in the making. We wanted to help them actually profit from it. So we found cryptos that have long-term profit potential harnessing NFT technology, like this coin that leverages NFTs to solve the excessive fees and scalping and data privacy issues that are plaguing the event ticketing industry.
Okay, so that is clearly a crypto with a future. Pop-Tart cats, not so much. Let's move on to the grand finale here. What's the T stand for in Updraft?
So T is for team, and that's the people behind the crypto.
That makes a lot of sense. I mean, when most folks research an investment, they want to see if its management has an impressive track record, right? But I understand you take things a step further.
Yeah, you can say that again. Actually meet and chat with the folks who create these coins. I want to see if their interest in crypto is genuine or if they're just out for a quick buck. This is also how I find cryptos that are flying under the radar sometimes. Like take Band Protocol. When my system found it, Band had a $12 million market cap. It was tiny. Even top crypto publications like CoinDesk and Bitcoin Magazine weren't covering it. But through my connections, I'd heard some positive buzz around Band. So I arranged a meeting with members of the team. I learned they were about to make a move that could attract a flood of new users. I didn't know what the move would be specifically, but the possibilities were really intriguing to me. Now, you and I and everyone watching know that words are cheap sometimes, right? But after I ran Band through the remaining metrics in Updraft and confirmed its quality, I sent word out to my readers. This coin shot up more than 2,000% in less than 4 months.
And there's no way you could have captured a gain like that if you'd waited for the mainstream press to ring the alarm, right?
Yeah, no way you could have. CoinDesk finally ran an article on Band when it started trading on Coinbase. But by then the biggest gains had come and gone. In fact, if you had bought Band when that Coinbase article went live and sold it at its absolute peak, you could have booked a 46% profit.
So you beat the crypto media roughly 40 times over.
Yeah, correct. 40 times over sounds right.
Well,
yeah.
So there you have it, folks. That's the updraft system in a nutshell. In a moment, Eric's going to show you how he's using updraft to profit from an unusual quirk in Bitcoin's code, a hidden pattern that could send Bitcoin to 150,000 by the end of the year and far higher in the years to come. He'll also reveal the 3 moves both crypto novices and veterans should make today as all this plays out. And he'll also give away the name and ticker of one of his favorite cryptos. You definitely don't want to miss that. Remember, Eric has used this system to beat the S&P 500, the Russell 2000, treasuries, and bonds many times over. Across his services, he's recommended 44 cryptos that could have doubled your money or more, including 9 cryptos that could have increased your money by 10 times or more. So when he talks crypto, I definitely listen. So Eric, I took the liberty of reaching out to the executive editor of Stansberry Research. He's in charge of maintaining and recording our analyst track records. He's the one who told me you recommended more 1,000% winners than any other analyst in our firm's 25-year history. But he also shared this interesting tidbit about your performance in 2022. Remember, folks, this was an historically bad year for the financial markets at large. U.S. Treasuries had their worst year in centuries. And for the first time in history, stocks and bonds were in a bear market at the same time. In fact, all but 6 major asset classes ended the year in the red. We're talking about an everything bear market. And Bitcoin was among the biggest losers. But amid all that financial carnage, Eric, your system still found winning cryptos like Aster Network before it soared 352%. And what's more, at the end of that very painful year, you identified a reason to remain bullish on Bitcoin. Can you speak on what you spotted there, Eric?
Sure. Let me pull up a chart for that. Check this out. This chart shows the total number of Bitcoin transactions made per day from 2019 to 2023. Every time one Bitcoin owner transfers Bitcoin to another owner, it's recorded here. Now, look at the section of the chart I've circled here. That shows how many Bitcoins were trading hands around December 2022. Do you notice anything strange there?
It looks just like any other month. It doesn't look out of the ordinary at all.
Right. Despite all the warnings about the death of Bitcoin, it was business as usual on the transaction side. Now, they weren't setting records, but they also weren't falling off a cliff. It showed that the crypto industry would continue to forge ahead. And for that reason, I said that Bitcoin remained a buy. That turned out to be the bottom. Bitcoin shot up more than 3-fold over the next year or so. And this isn't a fluke. I built my updraft system to identify the best times to buy cryptos before they surge in value. This is my magnum opus. It's the culmination of everything I've learned about the crypto market over the past 11 years. It works when cryptos are soaring. It works when they're falling. And it even works when they're going sideways.
So Eric, I'm curious, why are you on this mission to help everyday people navigate the crypto market? Your system seems to give you a massive competitive advantage, so why not just keep it to yourself?
Okay, well, it's funny. I'm glad you asked that. The reason I share my crypto insights predates the invention of Bitcoin by more than 20 years. The year was 1987, and I was actually still in school. You may know this as the year of Black Monday in the stock market. It was a financial crisis in which the stock market saw a one-day loss that was almost twice as large as the steepest drop in 1929. The sell-off then was triggered by a flood of automated, computer-driven orders that were designed to protect big-name institutions and punish Main Street investors. To most people, Black Monday is just another page in the history books, but for me, it got really personal. You see, my mom was one of the investors who lost a lot of her savings in that crash. She had some stock investments that fell dramatically. And then to compound the problem, she actually sold near the bottom. And as stocks recovered, she stayed on the sidelines. My mom is one of the smartest people I know. She was a program manager at Los Alamos National Laboratory, the home of the Manhattan Project. I mean, she reported to the Pentagon on the U.S. nuclear stockpile. You don't reach that level without being incredibly intelligent. But her stock market fear, it got the best of her. She missed out on years of portfolio growth. So when I became a certified financial manager at Merrill Lynch, I made it my mission in life to get her retirement back on track. I helped her create a financial plan that suited her risk tolerance. Now, here's the best part of what came out of that. Not only did she recover all of her losses from Black Monday, she was able to lock in an amazingly early retirement. She retired at the age of 58. And you bet she's into Bitcoin now too. That's why I do this. I've seen how one wrong move can jeopardize your financial future and how one right move can secure your financial freedom forever. What do I always say, Tom?
Always trade responsibly.
Yeah, you got it.
So with that in mind, I'm wondering, Eric, you said earlier you see Bitcoin going to 150,000, but could we just as likely see Bitcoin falling back to 17,000 like we did in 2022?
Okay, well, Bitcoin's always going to have lots of ups and downs, but I don't believe it'll ever go back to $17,000. No, that's not going to happen. My rationale for that goes back to that quirk in Bitcoin's code. It's a pattern that's specifically designed to increase the value of Bitcoin. I'm going to walk this out in a little bit more detail, but first I have to wind back the clock to about 2008 because it explains everything. You remember 2008, right?
Yeah, how could I forget it?
Yeah, so we saw the biggest economic downturn since the Great Depression in 2008. The S&P 500 was cut in half, unemployment doubled, home prices collapsed, everything that could go wrong did go wrong in 2008. And all this chaos paved the way for the Federal Reserve to embark on the most dangerous economic experiment in financial history. They call it quantitative easing. You remember that, right? But what it really was doing was creating money out of thin air and pumping that money into the financial system. It was a tool to lower interest rates and make it more attractive for people to borrow money and less attractive, actually, for people to save money. And while this experiment, it may have been a success by those measures, but in time it ultimately dealt a crippling blow to the US dollar. Since the Fed began those efforts, the purchasing power of the dollar has fallen a staggering 33%.
So it seems like an obviously risky idea in hindsight, but at the time, everyone just wanted a lifeboat, right?
That's true. But the Fed's solution looked more like a problem to an anonymous programmer who went by the name of Satoshi Nakamoto. During the worst part of the great financial crisis, Nakamoto launched a currency that the Fed cannot manipulate. The supply of that currency is strictly limited, ensuring that for the people who use it, its value increases over time in the face of inflation and economic uncertainty. So obviously, I'm talking about Bitcoin.
So for people watching who don't know, Bitcoin is an electronic currency with a limited supply of just 21 million, right?
Yeah, it's so limited in supply that at the time of this recording, each unit costs nearly $65,000.
So how does Bitcoin limit its supply?
Well, as I mentioned earlier, I actually used to mine Bitcoin.
Okay, so I'm going to interrupt you just for a second here, right? Can you explain what you mean by mining in simple terms?
Okay, so mining is using high-powered computers to secure the Bitcoin network and to process transactions. It's kind of the same as a bank or a credit card processor or even PayPal that has in-house computers to process all the transactions. The difference is anyone who wants to can mine Bitcoin. And by mining Bitcoin, you can receive Bitcoin as a reward. When Bitcoin first came out, you could receive 50 Bitcoin in return for participating in the mining process.
That's huge. That'd be worth something like 3 million today, right?
Absolutely. But you can't keep rewards at that level. That would be essentially the same thing as inflationary money printing, creating new currency out of thin air forever. It would dilute the existing supply indefinitely, which obviously that's not sustainable. If that had kept up, we'd have a situation similar to Venezuela, where rampant money printing led to 380,000% inflation, if you can believe that. So Nakamoto came up with an ingenious solution to this problem that made the opposite happen. coffee, groceries, even houses tend to cost less in terms of Bitcoin over time.
So how is that possible?
Well, there's a pattern written into Bitcoin's code that reduces the rate at which new Bitcoin are minted. It decreases the new supply and increases Bitcoin's market value. It's called the halving.
Okay, so that's fascinating, but tell us how it works in practice.
It works like this. The first halving occurred on November 28th, 2012, and it cut the mining reward from 50 Bitcoin to only 25. After this, Bitcoin soared by as much as 7,699%. The second halving then happened July 9th, 2016. The mining reward, which was 25, was cut in half again, this time to just over 12 Bitcoin. Bitcoin proceeded to surge after that by as much as 2,457%. Then we had a third halving on May 11th, 2020. And again, the reward for mining was slashed in half. And once again, Bitcoin jumped, this time by as much as 633%. So this past April, Bitcoin experienced its fourth halving. That means we're in the early stages of what could be another huge run-up in the price of Bitcoin.
So it sounds like an investor's dream scenario, a predictable event that has repeatedly delivered enormous returns. But if that's the case, why doesn't everyone in the world just plow into Bitcoin whenever these halving events occur?
Well, to a degree they do, but I can't stand the get-rich-quick mentality people bring to the crypto market. I've seen this exact thing happen time and time again. Folks hear that there's a halving coming and they buy Bitcoin ahead of the event, believing it will instantly skyrocket as soon as the halving takes place. And when that doesn't happen, the skyrocketing, then they sell their Bitcoin and they walk away disappointed. After the 2016 halving occurred, Bitcoin barely budged for months. 3 months later, it was down. In fact, if you had put $1,000 into Bitcoin that July and sold 3 months later, you would have lost some of your capital. So I get it. If you come in expecting big, quick gains and that doesn't happen, it's easy to get frustrated. It's easy to give up. But what you need to understand as a crypto investor is that Bitcoin is like any investment. It pays to be patient. If you'd held on until Bitcoin reached $16,000 a year or so later, you would have actually made more than $25,000. So if you think you've missed out because you didn't buy Bitcoin before any of these past halvings, I want you to erase that thought from your mind right now. It's not too late. That said, you have to swing into action now if you want to capture the maximum potential profit.
So Eric, how do you recommend that our viewers do this?
Well, obviously, buying Bitcoin is a must. You can buy it through one of the big name crypto exchanges like Coinbase or Gemini. You can also gain exposure through your brokerage account by buying one of the 11 new Bitcoin ETFs that came out this year. But you know the old expression, a rising tide lifts all boats, right?
Of course, yes.
Yeah. So I would say that it's truer of Bitcoin than arguably any other asset class. And as Bitcoin powers its way towards $150,000, we're going to see a bunch of little known cryptos blast off into the stratosphere. It'll be a lot of fun. And it could be incredibly lucrative too. And to get you up to speed, I've put together a new report, Top Cryptos with 1,000% Potential. I'll give you the full rundown on these coins, break down the score they received from my proprietary updraft system, and I'll explain how to purchase them and more. The best part, all of this analysis is 100% free as part of this special offer.
So considering the pure profit potential of your picks, that is an amazing bargain, Eric. As we mentioned earlier, one of your readers made $54 million from one of your recommendations.
Yeah,
Incredible.
It's the craziest story. I was presenting at an investment conference in Las Vegas when someone handed me a plain white envelope, and written across it were the words, "Please give to Eric Wade." Inside, I opened the envelope, and inside I discovered the story of a self-described country boy from middle America who turned an investment in one of my crypto picks into a $54 million fortune.
Unbelievable.
Now, through some well-timed investments, he had built up an impressive $500,000. That's a lot of money for a middle-class healthcare worker. But then his luck turned, and by the time he found me, he was down to just $50,000. He knew nothing about the crypto markets, but he overcame his uncertainty. He took a leap into the unknown, and he went from that $50,000 to $54 million. I know the whole thing, it sounds like a movie, but it is absolutely true.
And you know, that story really speaks to the money-making power of the cryptos that you find with your updraft system. Still, I have to ask you though, the stock market has been on fire lately. Does updraft work for stocks as well?
So, well, I just got to say, I want to be really clear that I designed updraft specifically to find the best crypto opportunities. But I don't think you should exclusively invest in cryptos. They should just be part of your investing strategy. Diversification is crucial for protecting your portfolio from market volatility. But when it comes to stocks, I honestly don't need a system. I've got something even better. His name is John Engel, and he's one of the most brilliant stock analysts that I've ever met.
So interesting. So I'm presuming he's a former money manager or financial advisor, right?
You'd think, but no, even better than that. In fact, John may have the most bizarre origin story of anyone in financial publishing. Before he joined Stansberry, John received a master's degree in biotechnology from Johns Hopkins, and he spent more than 6 years in molecular biology and fermentation labs developing new and novel enzymes through protein engineering.
Wow.
Yeah. Doesn't sound like a typical Wall Street guy, right?
No.
Here's the thing about John. Since 2018, he's been leveraging the rigorous research skills and technological savvy that he picked up during his career in science. He leverages them to find some of the most under-radar tech stocks in the whole world. He found Commvault Systems here. He spotted Palo Alto Networks here, and he identified the Trade Desk here. In fact, I just took a look at his model portfolio earlier today. He's currently sitting on 19 double-digit gains and 7 triple-digit gains.
Wow, that is a phenomenal track record, Eric.
Yeah, he's the best kept secret in this industry. He also works with my colleague, Dr. David Doc Eifrig, a former derivatives trader at Goldman Sachs. Now, Doc said this about John. John is like the best duck hunting dog there is. It's like you go out and say, go get it. And John comes back with 4 ducks, and the ducks have been filleted, and they've been cooked in the oven perfectly with lemon or cherry. It makes you go, wow. He dives into this stuff. He knows the science.
That is high praise coming from a guy like Doc, who famously delivered 211 winning trades in a row to his subscribers.
Yeah, absolutely true. Doc doesn't say that sort of stuff about everybody. You have to earn it. And John, he's earned it in a big way. That's why I asked him to write up a report of his favorite tech stocks to buy today. We're calling it the Household Names of Tomorrow. I'd like to send you a copy of that report alongside top cryptos with 1,000% potential.
So this sounds amazing, Eric. So how do our viewers get their hands on these picks?
John and I publish our crypto and tech recommendations in our best-in-class research service, Stansberry Innovations Report. So our goal for Stansberry Innovations Report is very simple. We identify innovations and we zero in on the best way to profit from them. Every month, we'll update you on the biggest opportunities across the tech world and the crypto universe, and we issue a brand new recommendation to help you take advantage. By taking this approach, we've nearly doubled the S&P 500.
So wait a second here. You've basically doubled the S&P? That's pretty rare, right?
Yeah, it is. In fact, only 8% of professional fund managers beat the S&P, let alone double it. That's because we have an extremely disciplined approach to investing. We know when to let our winners run, and we know when to take profits. We always tell our subscribers exactly when to sell our Stansberry Innovations Report recommendations.
So do you recommend a lot of cryptos through this service?
I do recommend cryptos periodically, and I update my subscribers on the positions in our model portfolio every month. It's called the Crypto Corner, and you'll find it at the bottom of every monthly issue. That said, Stansberry Innovations Report is not strictly a crypto research service. Rather, it's a home for my best buy and hold crypto recommendations. These are the types of cryptos that should be the corner of your retirement account. Since I started writing the Crypto Corner, our results have been through the roof. Our cryptos have generated 227% gains on average.
Those are phenomenal returns, Eric. And of course, it's important to remember that cryptocurrencies are volatile and that all investments carry some risk. And past performance does not indicate future returns. And you should never invest more than you can afford to lose. And having said that, though, Eric, what else can folks expect from their membership to Stansberry Innovations Report?
We also help our subscribers get in front of the hottest market trends before they go vertical. We sounded the alarm on 5G when people were still using 3G. We pounded the table on driverless cars before there even were robo-taxis on the streets. And we sang the praises of AI years before the launch of ChatGPT. Since 2018, we've been showing our subscribers how to leverage these kinds of innovations for 100, 300, and even 1,000% gains. I believe Bitcoin's road to $150,000 will go down as our next great forecast. That's why I'm opening the doors to our research like never before. I'm going to give you a chance to try Stansberry Innovations Report without risking a penny. Would you mind breaking down the details for our viewers, Tom?
Yeah, sure. I'd love to. So by now, it's clear that Eric and John and their team of investment analysts are operating on an advanced level. Few people on this planet can claim comparable financial acumen. And that's largely because they go to great lengths to uncover top-tier investments. They fly around the world. They go to exclusive conferences and get the inside scoop from major executives. It costs our organization hundreds of thousands of dollars to fund all this, but that's the price for outperformance. And Eric believes Bitcoin will rise to $150,000 by the end of the year. In the long term, it could go even higher. In fact, a Fidelity Investments director recently predicted a single Bitcoin could be worth as much as $1 billion by 2038. So this is the perfect money-making setup. And Eric has identified 4 cryptos that could skyrocket because of it. And today, he's offering you a 100% risk-free trial at a steeply discounted rate. 1 year of Stansberry Innovations Report typically costs $499, but if you act right now, you can get 60% off. We're talking about a full year of access to Stansberry Innovations Report for just $199. It's a phenomenal deal. By taking action today, you can secure 12 months of access to Eric and his team's 100% independent financial analysis for 60% off the regular price. And the best part, if you're unhappy for any reason, you can receive a full cash refund in the next 30 days, no strings attached, no questions asked. Simply click the Get Started button below to get started. But that's not all. Eric is pulling out all the stops for new subscribers to Stansberry Innovations Report. Eric, will you explain the first bonus you're giving away today?
Yeah, I'd be happy to. So if you join right now, I'll send you my 4-part video series, the Crypto Masterclass. I know there are a lot of folks watching this who don't know the first thing about the crypto market. If that's you, I'm here to tell you it's not your fault. A lot of the video tutorials on crypto investing are needlessly complicated. They're not geared toward beginners at all. That's not the case with Crypto Masterclass. I specifically designed this series with new crypto investors in mind. I'm going to take you by the hand and show you how to buy your first crypto, which exchanges you should use, how to navigate these exchanges, how to properly secure your digital assets, how to keep track of your cryptos, and even more than that. Once you get the hang of all this, you'll know how to step off the sidelines and start capturing the biggest potential profits of your life. We're talking about explosive cryptos like Toncoin, Solana, and Render. Now remember, you don't have to scour the crypto market for the best coins to buy. You'll find my 3 favorite cryptos listed in the top cryptos with 1,000% potential report. And if anything ever changes with those recommendations, I'll always send an email and let you know. This free bonus is just a way to ensure that you have all the tools you need to succeed at crypto investing. Until today, this masterclass lived behind a $2,000 paywall. You had to be one of my VIP subscribers to access it. Not anymore. That's because I want to give you everything you need to achieve the best possible results, regardless of whether you're a newbie or a seasoned pro. That's my goal with the Crypto Masterclass.
So Eric has made it his life mission to know all the ins and outs of crypto. So order right now, and Eric will give you his 4-part video series, The Crypto Masterclass. It's one of 2 free bonuses for new members of this market-beating, research service, Stansberry Innovations Report. When you act through today's special offer, you're getting an incredible 60% discount, including free access to Eric's model portfolio of the best cryptos to buy today and free access to his colleague John Engel's portfolio of the best stocks to buy today. Plus, another incredibly valuable bonus we haven't even shared with you yet. And to claim all of your free bonuses, you can go ahead and place your order right now by pressing the button at the bottom of your screen. Again, it's all 100% risk-free, and you can start taking advantage of Eric's high-level crypto analysis, hand-picked recommendations, and game-changing updraft system without risking a penny. And if you're unhappy for any reason, simply contact our friendly member services team anytime in the next 30 days, and you'll receive a full, prompt cash refund of everything you purchased today. We're comfortable providing this exceptional guarantee because we know our research is second to none. The model equity and crypto portfolios of Stansberry Innovations Report currently contain a whopping 19 double-digit winners and an extraordinary 7 triple-digit winners. Eric and John are crushing the S&P 500, the Russell 2000, gold, treasuries, and more. So if you want to profit from the hottest technological trends without taking on undue risk, Stansberry Innovations Report is the perfect service for you. And while we're discussing hot trends, Eric, AI is everywhere right now, right? It's making headlines, it's heating up the stock market, and triggering one mind-blowing breakthrough after another. Your system flashed buy on a little-known AI crypto before it shot up 554%. So what are you doing to play the AI boom now? And are there any cryptos that you're strongly recommending right now?
Yeah, it's actually funny that you should ask about that, Tom, because one of my picks in the top cryptos with 1,000% potential report has recently launched a new AI project that sounds absolutely breathtaking. The Motley Fool even says it could rival ChatGPT. I don't want to give it away, so I'm not going to say anything else about it, but the report contains the full details on this recommendation, including where to find it, how to buy it, and why I believe it could be my next big winner. But the other day, my partner John, he showed me a stock that left me just floored. You see, when most people think about AI, they picture these crazy apps that can produce beautiful pieces of art or college level essays at the drop of a hat. They don't always realize that producing content requires tremendous amounts of computing power. In fact, just one of the data centers that effectively convert electricity into computation, just one consumes as much energy as 80,000 households. So John found what could be the only pure play on the technology that enables AI-based data centers to run smoothly. It doesn't have the name recognition of NVIDIA or advanced micro devices, but its stock is performing incredibly well. Over the past year, it's soared by more than 304%. And with Alphabet and Microsoft and Meta platforms, they're plowing tens of billions of dollars into new data centers. So if that's going on, the future looks bright for this little-known AI play. This stock, it could go down as one of the biggest winners of the AI boom. And we put all the details in the new report, Our #1 AI Stock. Remember, John and I know a thing or two about identifying the winners of major tech trends. We found a way to play the music streaming craze. We figured out how to profit from electric vehicles without buying Tesla. We zeroed in on a gene editing tech stock. We recommended a big winner from the at-home stock boom. And we targeted a future giant of the cybersecurity boom. So whenever we're talking about a hot trend, it pays to listen up.
And our #1 AI stock is yours 100% free when you act right now. Now, you've seen how powerful Eric's updraft system can be and just how much money it can help you make. So please take a minute to click the button below this screen to lock in this special offer. It's just $199 to get started. Sign up today and you'll receive 12 months of Stansberry Innovations Report, 2 model portfolios loaded with actionable stock and crypto recommendations, top cryptos with 1,000% potential, the household names of tomorrow, our #1 AI stock, our 4-part training series, the Crypto Masterclass, access to our friendly, professionally trained member services support line, our 30-day, 100% money-back guarantee, and more. So you're risking nothing to give this a test drive and see what Stansberry Innovations Report can do for you. Simply click the Get Started button below to get started, and within minutes, you'll gain instant, risk-free access to your new membership. So Eric, let's move on to the Q&A section and your free recommendation. So take us back to 2013, and what sparked your fascination with crypto?
So Tom, I'm going to take you back even further than that to start that off. My journey actually begins in 1994. It was when I was 27 years old. I worked as a full-time stockbroker over at Merrill Lynch. I had every license that I could get, Series 3, 6, 7, 63, and 65. My wife and I, we lived in a big house in Albuquerque, New Mexico with a Porsche and Mercedes in the driveway. I could have stayed the course and enjoyed a long, successful career as a stockbroker. But instead, a once-in-a-lifetime $7 investment changed my life forever.
So let me guess, Amazon, right?
No, it wasn't a stock. It wasn't even a bond or a piece of real estate or anything like that. What it was I acquired the rights to the domain name wallstreet.com long before most people even knew what a domain name was. A few years later, I sold it for more than $1 million. My story at the time made international headlines. I was one of the first people to see the potential of the internet. The sale was covered in the likes of Barron's magazine, Wired, and even the Washington Post had it. It enabled me to walk away from my job at Merrill Lynch and forge my own path in life. Most importantly of all, it changed the way I invest. I realized that great investments are about information. If you want to make big money, you must know and understand something before the rest of the world even has a clue about it. Most folks were baffled by the internet when I bought that domain name.
You know, I remember that time well, Eric. The internet was all over the news, but practically nobody knew how it worked or why it was so important.
Yeah, there was a lot of fear too.
True.
People worried that it was going to kill jobs, it was going to take away their privacy, it was going to weaken community spirit, and maybe even cause massive power grid blackouts. As a 1994 article in the Baltimore Sun, they put it this way: a lot of folks would just as soon stay behind as America charges full speed into the electronic information age. Unfortunately, these same people, if they sat on the sidelines as the internet powered the biggest investment boom of our lifetimes, then they would have missed out on Cisco systems. They missed out on Oracle, and they missed out on Microsoft. I saw that same pattern playing out in Bitcoin when I started mining it in 2013. And I see the same culture of fear around Bitcoin today. Tom, there's more than 180 mainstream publications that have claimed Bitcoin is going to zero. I'm sure everyone watching this has read articles that proclaim Bitcoin's imminent demise, right? But it keeps climbing higher and higher. And if you know and understand crypto, while the rest of the world sits in a daze, then you could see big gains alongside it.
So, excellent, Eric. Remember, to claim access to Eric's boots-on-the-ground research into Bitcoin, just click the button below. Okay, Eric, so I have another question for you. This past January, the SEC approved 11 brand new Bitcoin ETFs. So how does this impact the crypto market?
Well, it's a total game changer. For one, you no longer have to go through a crypto exchange like Coinbase to gain exposure to Bitcoin. You can buy these ETFs through your brokerage account or in your 401k and maybe even in your IRA. More importantly, it enables institutional investors like hedge funds and mutual funds and pensions. It allows them to access Bitcoin. It's essentially the culmination of everything we've been dreaming about for Bitcoin since Bitcoin was born in 2008. That dream can be boiled down to just two words: mass adoption.
So is there any precedent for this?
Yeah, it's similar to what happened with the SPDR Gold Trust ETF, GLD. That came out in 2004. Before that, the growth of the gold market was limited by the difficulty of buying and selling and holding gold. Between identifying a good dealer to sell you the gold, deciding where you're going to store your gold, and protecting it with an insurance policy. Yeah, it was a lot. It was massive to do. But when gold GLD launched, everything changed. You could sidestep that entire hassle by just typing a few letters in your brokerage account and click buy. The impact was immediate. The GLD ETF amassed more than $1 billion in assets in its first 3 days. In the space of 3 years, the price of gold soared by 67%. That same thing happened to Bitcoin when these ETFs launched. But unlike gold, it didn't take Bitcoin 3 years. Bitcoin soared by 67% in just 2 months. So that said, if you think this market is hot now, that's nothing compared to what's coming next.
So you heard it here first, folks. The stage is set for an incredible bull market in cryptos. To get started with Eric today at a low rate of just $199 a year, simply click the button below. So Eric, you said that Stansberry Innovations Report isn't strictly a crypto research service. So for anybody watching this who wants to get more actively involved in crypto, do you have anything for them?
I actually do. For the past 6 years, I've been running a service called Crypto Capital. If you really want to get into crypto, this is your ticket. I post weekly video updates, I hold interviews with prominent crypto CEOs, and I take my members inside some of the most exclusive and elite crypto conferences in the world. I've also shown my readers how to profit from halving events like the one that just occurred this past April. For example, during the second halving cycle, I used my updraft system to pinpoint obscure cryptos before they exploded. I zeroed in on Binance Coin over here. I found Augur here, and VIDT Datalink and Sentinel Protocol. In all, I discovered 25 ways you could have doubled your money or more in the wake of the second crypto halving.
And, I know a few money managers who would kill for a track record like that. But you kind of had the wind in your sails, right? I mean, Bitcoin soared over 2,400% during that cycle. How did you do after the third halving when Bitcoin went up by, 600%?
Well, it's funny you should ask that. In 2020, the year of the third halving, that was my best year ever. My Crypto Capital subscribers saw an average gain of 445%.
Wow. Including winners and losers.
Yeah, including winners and losers. Over the course of that cycle, I recommended 13 cryptos that could have doubled your money or more, including 3 that could have made you 10x your money.
Wow.
You can see why I'm so excited about this latest halving. As Bitcoin powers towards $150,000, we're going to see a bunch of little-known cryptos blast into the stratosphere.
So no wonder Crypto Capital subscribers are so thrilled with Eric's results. Ron G. reported, "When I joined Crypto Capital, I was looking to make money, of course, but I was also looking for an education. You've given me both. I've invested approximately $35,000 in crypto, and by following the buys and sells and doing what they say, I now have a crypto portfolio valued over $300,000. Mark R. wrote in to say, "Since I joined Crypto Capital, I've enjoyed your information very much. I made 5,800% on Harmony. I came out with over $1 million. I've been investing and trading for over 20 years, but I've never seen gains like that before." Now, here's the best part. After you place your order for Stansberry Innovations Report today, you'll receive an opportunity to add Crypto Capital to your order at a dramatically reduced rate. To learn more, place your order now by pressing the button below. And Eric, you mentioned earlier that you're going to reveal the 3 moves folks should make today as Bitcoin soars to 150,000 and beyond. So there's no time like the present, right?
That's true. Okay, so I have 3 suggestions for you. First off, don't put more than 5% of your money in the crypto market. That may sound like a tiny sliver of your portfolio, but it can go a long way. Let's say you had a $100,000 portfolio. Had you put $5,000 of that into Ethereum when I recommended it in 2020, you'd be up more than 60 grand by now.
Wow. So you could have made more than 60 grand with just 5% of your portfolio.
Yeah, exactly. So my next suggestion is my general rule of thumb for cryptos. If an investment triples in value, take out your initial investment. That's how you preserve your capital while still being able to profit from any further upside.
That makes a lot of sense when you think about it. In casinos, they call it playing with house money. So you're basically playing with your gains and not touching the principal, right?
Yeah, so you have no real risk to your initial investment if you do that. Lastly, I just want to suggest that you put a small amount of money in each position to start out. You can add more money to your stake later on, but it's important that you get comfortable with the platform first. Nowadays, there's a lot of platforms that make trading cryptos as easy as trading stocks. Back when I started, you had 2 options if you wanted to buy Bitcoin. You could send a money order or wire funds to someone in a faraway state or more likely even in a different country. That also meant you needed to wait several days for your Bitcoin to arrive and hope that you weren't getting ripped off. Or you could meet a stranger in a parking lot and watch them transfer some Bitcoin to your digital wallet and then hand them your cash.
Are you serious, Eric?
Yeah, that's how it used to work.
Wow.
I was really never comfortable meeting someone in a parking lot, but I've certainly wired money to buy Bitcoin. And let me tell you, it's so much easier now to get into the crypto market today than it used to be.
So to recap, you believe that everyone watching this presentation should take these 3 measures.
Yeah.
Don't put more than 5% of your total portfolio in crypto.
Yeah.
Also, take out your initial investment if a position triples in value, and put a small amount of money in each crypto. But in my mind, the most important move you can make now is this: gain access to the findings of Eric Wade's updraft system in Stansberry Innovations Report. Now, Eric has identified 4 cryptos that could supercharge your investment account. Click the Get Started button below to get started today. All right, Eric, so last question. What's your free pick?
It's called Basic Attention Token, BAT. It's a digital advertising platform that runs on the Ethereum blockchain. It was created by the team behind JavaScript. That's the programming language that powers 98% of websites. It's available to buy on 171 different exchanges, including the big ones like Coinbase and Gemini. Don't pay more than 50 cents per token. I believe it could triple your money from here. I threw the full write-up on BAT in my top cryptos with 1,000% potential report as an added bonus.
Well, we certainly appreciate that, Eric. So claim that report immediately by pressing the button below. And with that, we've reached the end of today's crypto market update. Crypto legend Eric Wade has just released his new crypto investment guide, including his top cryptos to buy in his updraft system, 3 with the potential to 10x your money or more. So order right now to secure your 60% discount and start receiving Eric's crypto intelligence for a mere $199 a year. Plus, free access to his colleague John Engel's portfolio of winning tech stocks, plus free access to his 4-part Crypto Masterclass video series. Plus, a free copy of John's new report, our #1 AI stock. In addition, if you get in today, we'll send you an exclusive mystery gift we didn't have time to get into today, but it could change the course of your finances. Others recently paid as much as $2,499 to see this in person, but you'll get in for no additional charge when you act now. Just click the button below to see all the details. It's clear that we're at an inflection point in the crypto market. Thanks to the halving, we could see the price of Bitcoin reach $150,000 by the end of the year and climb far beyond that in the years to come. But if you want to take advantage, you need to act now. All you have to do to get started is click the button below. So Eric, thank you for your time and for sharing so much actionable information with everyone watching.
Well, I obviously love talking about this stuff, Tom. I'm excited to welcome more members to my crypto community and help them profit from this paradigm shift in the crypto universe.
On behalf of Stansberry Research, I'm Tom Mustin. Congratulations on taking the first step toward a brighter financial future.